Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Tammy Ozturk, designer of badbobbin.com, and today I'm going to show you a quick auto punch for this single color design snap tab using the Baby Lock Palette 11 with a purchased clip art design. And here we go. I already have the clip art in my computer and I've opened my design center. I'm going to the image, clicking auto punch, and I'm going to find the design. It's going to be this little heart. Click open and it comes into the portion where we're going to size it down. I don't want the negative space, so I kind of move it in. This is how I do it. You can do it differently, so I'm just showing how I do it. And I'm going to tune the image a little bit just to play with it and keep the color so it'll get a sharpness around the edges. When I'm done, I'll go to next and I will enlarge it a little bit. Usually the bigger the better, you'll get a better design, but you don't want to go too big because you can only size like 10% up and down before losing quality of your stitches. And I'll hit next, and I always go to the highest of noise reduction, and then I play with the one down at the bottom, and this is normally my settings where I'll get something half decent that'll show the best of all the designs. And I don't want the middle, so I'm going to exit out. I'd rather have the vinyl show through. Click finish and there's my design. It's already auto punched, but it does need some tweaking here and there. You can try to do it as is, but I go in and play with it a little bit and fix things up knowing what I'm going to stitch it out on. And you'll see I'm in the advanced settings and I do my density up to 117. I'm going to play with the direction of the stitches. You'll get rid of some of the lines from the ins and outs and where it goes. So you can see that line that's down towards the bottom of the heart. It looks like big long stitches. So that's why I'm playing with the angle to try to get rid of those, because you will see those. And you know, now it's up at the top of the heart. So you just have to play with the directions. And that's the line at the top there. So the X means there's more than one part. So there's the main part and then there's a bunch of little parts. So I'm going to click on the main part. I'm going to set my ins and outs. So this is my region in, and what I'm playing with there is the region out, which is region 2. And the region is the fill part. If there's an L, that means it's the line. So there's no line around this or an outline. So there's no L. This is all just going to be the R. And so you can play with this for the ins and outs as well to see where your final stitch will be, and it could change the lines as well. So I'm going to go back a little bit and play some more with it. And it looks pretty decent. The lines aren't that big. So I'm going to go in and change all the small ones as well. I'm going to change the directions, and I'm going to change the in and the out. It's where the stitch is going to start, continue its stitching, and then where it's going to end. One more. So I'm changing the direction of the stitch because it was going long ways from the tip to the end. I want my stitches to go sideways on it. Okay, I've got all the directions, ins and outs that I want. Making sure everything's good. I'm changing the order of how it's sewing so that you're not going to have jump stitches going from one side to the other. So I'm changing the order on how those are going to stitch out. Okay, I'm going to go back and click so that it's all in one group. Go back to the top. I'm going to change it to the arrow so that I'll have the nodes around the outside, and now I'm going to size it down to the size that I want for my keychain. So you'll grab the corner node, you're going to left click and then drag it down to the size that you want. I usually will go at about 2 inches, 2.5 inches for the height of it. And then I add around it because I know when I do my outline and I go around it, it's going to go in between all those little bumps and I don't want it to go that much. So I'm going to add an outline to it and then I'll do my final outline. And then I'm going to delete it. So I use the embroidery patch like you just saw and just gives it an outline, and I use the 0.05. So I'm leaving that outline in there and I'm going to go to my templates and I have, like I said, a tab made already and I'm going to adjust that to the height. So that's going to be my tab length, which is about 2 inches. And I'm going to pull it down a little bit because I don't want it to go, my outline, down on that one little splat. So I'm going to click and have all of them selected, and that way I can move everything all at once. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to center it. And then I'm going to go back up to the embroidery patch and I'm only going to do the outline at 0.05 and click OK. See, I made that nice outline all around everything. It made my tab for me and everything. So I need to fix that really quick. I'm going to go into all the adjustment little nodes and you'll see how I delete a bunch and I rearrange them to make my line straight. I'm going to move it over so it'll be straight. I'm going to collect all of them and I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to hit delete and it'll get rid of all those. Now that I have everything set on the tab straight like I want it, I'm going to change the color because right now that's just a temporary line, that color, for a patch. So I'm going to change it to a color. And I'm going to do the run pitch up to 13 to make it a nice length on the stitches. I'm going to click and get rid of those two templates. We don't want those anymore. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit delete. So I have my one outline and I'm going to actually move that outline, or not right now. First I'm going to click on it and I'm going to select the object and I'm going to duplicate it. So I'm going to make sure my X is on there. I'm going to right click, hit duplicate. It's going to duplicate it again, exactly how that first one is. I'm going to go change the color. I'm also going to change the run stitch to a triple stitch or a bean stitch as we call it. I'm also going to change that run pitch to 13 as well to go along with it. So I'm going to change the first one and make it either our tack down stitch or it can be our placement line. And I'm going to select our last one and I'm going to hover over it and I'm going to center it and it moves it exactly right on top. This doesn't always work perfect, especially when it comes down to lines and corners. And you can see down at the bottom of the splat line, down at the bottom, it doesn't quite line up right at that bottom one. So I'm going to highlight that one, select it, and I'm going to go up to my selection and make it the little nodes all around it. Those are our points. And I'm going to click on the one in the corner and I'm going to extend it out, or in actually on this one. and it lined up just right. So those other two there, there's little tiny ones. I'm going to correct those a bit. And when I move that little node, I actually move it with my arrow keys. So the arrow keys will, when you select it and make the little stitch point, making it dark, then you can use your arrow keys to move it. All right, so I've got everything there. I'm going to fix my ins and outs where I want it. And I'm going to fix the other one as well. Okay, we'll go back to our arrow key, and I'm going to click on the design, and what it's going to do is just highlight what is grouped, and I'm going to go up on the home page where it says groups in the center there, and I'm going to ungroup it, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to select all three and I'm holding down the control key and selecting each one, and then when they're all selected I can group them all. All right, and it's not fitting in my square, so this is a 4x4, so I need to rotate it so that it'll fit in my. And like I said, if you make the design anywhere from like 2.5 inches at the most on most of your designs, and adding that 2-inch tab, it should just fit in that 4x4 at an angle. So I'm going to center it, and I need to play a little bit more, move the tab, just rotate it a bit. There we go. Center it again. Perfect. And then I go up to the top there on the home page, and I'm going to center it and bring it up inside my whole page. All right, so there's my snap tab. And I want to save it and save as, and I'm going to put it in one of my files where I'll find it. This happens to be my October file. Give it a name. And that's how we save it. And then what I do is I use a snippet program, and I actually will snip the photo and save my photo that way as well. And that way I know how it's going to stitch out, what size it fits in as well. And I save that in a different folder. I give it the same name, but I just don't have my logo or my brand name is BB for Bad Bobbin. And it'll be a JPEG. And we're all done, and that's how we do our little snap tab. If you enjoyed my video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, ring that bell. You'll get more notifications of upcoming videos. If you would like me to touch base on anything else with the Palette 11, more than welcome. Give me a comment down below, and I'll see what I can do for you. Anything else, you like it, need improvements, just let me know down in the comments. Thank you, and thanks for joining me. Bye.